Hello everyone, this is Karst, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. So, it's actually a lot darker than I was remembering. Last episode we actually found the murderer, and we finally located the killer. We're going to take him in for, well, not even just questioning at this point, we're going to straight up arrest him. But we have encountered a legendary mythological cryptozoologist creature. So we finally found the Insulindian Phasmid, which has turned out to be real the entire time. Lena is not in fact crazy. And I kind of left off right before, I guess, interacting with it. So, without any further ado, I am going to note I have 2 skill points sitting here. So if I need them, I can apply them. Let's get going.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you.
Okay.
Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
It is right up in my face.
The hiss is different from the strings you heard before.
Oh.
It says something else in a lower pitch.
Let's listen carefully.
You smell.
What am I smelling? Whisper. This is the Insulindian Phasmid.
It is.
The lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly, painstakingly so.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium.
Oh,
He
nice.
begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera.
Yes, we'll have photographic proof that it exists.
No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
Kim, the flash is loud. It won't like that.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
True. He continues to pull the lens open.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the Phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I am afraid.
Oh. Half-Light coming in to translate. What the hell? It's afraid. Stop now.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
That's fair, though. I don't blame him for that. He has stopped fiddling with the camera, but does not put it down.
You see the Phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
I have the pheromone. I can approach it.
I don't think the pheromone will do anything.
His whisper turns to a skeptical hiss, but he has stopped now.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly.
Say something to it quietly. Something like... You exist.
A sudden chirrup fills the air. The walking stick moves its whole body, limbs working independently of each other, like the parts of a masterfully constructed machine. It moves just an inch closer to you. Or does it only feel like it does?
I'm not sure.
Something in its body language has changed, just slightly.
97%. Approach carefully. I have +3 from Lena's childhood experience, and apparently my corpse will be marked by the stars. Please, it's a red check and cannot be retried. Don't give me another pair of snake eyes. Thank you.
Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the Phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals.
This is such a magical moment right now.
Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes and look more closely.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
Okay. What's the foam for?
The faintest smell, like you've never felt before. Like burnt roses.
It's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The lieutenant watches you apprehensively.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning. Apricot blossoms,
Oh,
white blossoms erupting, a sensation like cold hands on your face.
Inland Empire, 97%. Because I have +2 for not giving up on the Phasmid, and I know what parthenogenesis is. I honestly don't remember what parthenogenesis is, but it's here to give me a +1, so I'll take it. Tell me, what are you... No, raise my hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid.
Put my hand down.
The invertebrate comes back to life, stridulating. Sets of complex eyes follow you, moving in tandem on either side of the insect's small head.
Okay, so raising my hand scared it. That's good to know. Tell me, what are you doing?
I exist.
What? It talks? I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
I'm ill.
What is your illness?
In my heart, for me it's sadness, input after input.
For me, it is not like that. I have states, not the emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards. But that is not important.
I was not expecting it to have a voice. This is... alright.
Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images. A kind of darkness, being intruded upon. Transient, dim, moist.
Intruded upon? But by what?
Shapes of plants and animals. And internal sensations. A swarm of sounds. Tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel. Weightless. So light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul. And if I did, it would never ache.
I'm glad to be me, an incredibly sensitive instrument.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you. With all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and rotting glass. Eternal damnation. Even when you're sleeping, and when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It was very disorienting at first, but I'm keeping my shit together.
That must be incredibly hard. The arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you.
Thank you.
And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
Fair enough. I mean, at least something's watching out for me. Although, I don't know how much of this is my own insanity and my inland empire screwing with me. Kim probably has no idea what's going on. He sure as hell's not hearing this.
Detective,
Yes,
arriving.
I am a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
I was born to detect you.
Yes. No one detected me for such a long, long time. For thousands of years. I dithered, out of sight. Trapped myself in greenery.
This is my masterpiece.
No one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective. Dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. Across the calm sea. The first in 1,000 years.
Is this a dream? What's happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
This may be real, but how are we having a conversation? You're not actually speaking to me, but in our mind, are you? Where does this come from? All of this around us, the world.
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
Then all we can do is beat our fists against it, day after day, with no answer?
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
And what exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
True.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain.
Wait, so you
Also,
have been
by
alive
the
for all these
soldiers
years?
of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Samanese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Reverchol, district of Martinez.
So by
March
me.
51.
It has a lot of knowledge about the years and the governments, even like the scientific designations and everything. I assume I'm hallucinating the conversation at the very least. Are you poisonous?
Yes,
Oh,
I do not have a starter display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry. It is only destructive over long periods of time.
The deserter.
Oh,
He's been
okay.
here for a long time.
that explains why he's as nutty as he is. That's insane.
No, you are.
Oh, thank you.
The
I've been called that a
moral
lot
our
recently.
encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you.
Really?
No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
Wait, the Pale is human-made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
There's so much to unpack here. Like, this is such an interesting world. And it's a shame what happened with the company, so I don't know if we're ever gonna get the sequel or anything like that, but there are so many implications to this, and there's literally nothing we can do about it. I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about this. So it's like a... not a physical thing. Like, this is basically entropy created as a result of humanity? But it's not like a physical or even verifiable property that we are quote-unquote exhaling. Huh. Where's how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget?
Have I always thought this way?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
I have already forgotten the whole world once when I drank too much.
So it is already happening. Soon, one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
I kind of want to hear what it says if I say that I won't close my eyes.
No, the pale too. It isn't your violent voices.
Instead of air,
Everything your eyes touch goes back there.
I'll be
Behind the
extra
nose mirror.
careful not to blink, Stick
Would
Insect,
you
don't worry.
Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sign, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Tim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
He whispers. Then I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
After a second, the lieutenant asked this question. The case is meaningless compared to this. I've totally transcended the case.
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts, that was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you're the kindest. Of all the creatures I've met, you're the scariest. Of all the creatures I've met, you're the most beautiful. You are the most beautiful.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman. Turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For all mankind.
What woman? I assume he's talking about Dora. I will.
She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Thank you, Insulindian Phasmid. Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
With the slow ring of metal, the lieutenant slides the lens open and raises it to eye level.
there is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
So it's consenting to the photo then?
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The lieutenant whispers, his voice is tense.
The shrill flash of the camera
Oh!
cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The Phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized by the flash, it stands frozen before you.
This is beautiful.
The sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well, in the shadow of this great statue of chitinous marble.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper, as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome of ghost of white streaks against the reeds in the sky, and you as a shadow before it.
For all time.
I don't know if touching a whisker is a good idea. Carefully pet its scythe-like forearm.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing.
Run your hand up the slender limb higher.
A small shudder passes the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl eyes still glisten, mesmerized by the light passing its nervous system. There is some kind of countdown happening as it slowly processes the overwhelming brightness of the signal. The invertebrate is regaining control. The stimulus overloaded it. It's passing like an extended moment or a gallstone.
Slowly reach out and touch the whisker.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish. The sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a young vine.
I don't know what a vine is.
It's even a bit wet. Looks like someone's got hurt in a fight. This antennae is much smaller than the other one.
So now we have to think about natural predators, whether or not this is the only one of its species, how they propagate, all sorts of things.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Look at my finger.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of
Don't
moisture.
lick the...
The creature in front of you stays frozen.
That seems very unwise. Lick the
It
finger!
tastes like sugar, very
Oh.
faint. The anthropod towers above you, tufts of reeds pointing from limb and head alike. Odorless, mostly comprised of water.
We got it. Back off.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
We'll just disengage slowly then. We're done here.
As you're turning away, the Phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Actually incredible. I just wish it wasn't... Wow, look at that. I just wish it wasn't nighttime, so that we could have had a better look at it.
Just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water.
Okay, so it walks on water, like a stick bug does. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds.
Right here?
A collection
I
of
saw a
items.
box.
It's gone.
The lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow. It can walk on water.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, like a water strider.
Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
He shakes his head with amazement. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
Yeah, let's do it. What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand onto the ash. It's dirty and black.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
We'll do that after. Box. The T500 helmet. Hilarious. We get it way after we needed it. Well, I may as well put it on. This monstrous-looking, bug-eyed ceramic helmet was in the Phasmid's nest. It still has some reeds sticking out of it, and it smells of seawater. But it's otherwise wearable, if not exactly comfortable. Putting it on feels scary somehow. Well, I have it on. I don't even know why. Literally no reason to have it on, but I'll put it on. I also got the scope, apparently, which is worth 30 bucks, but is there ever a point wherein this will be necessary? I do not know. So, the Triangong 446. The bolt-action 446 caliber Triangong is the poor man's sniper rifle. While it's not the most reliable of firearms, it's relatively precise due to a very manageable recoil, thus allowing the shooter to take multiple consecutive... They spelled consecutive differently than I would. Shots fast. This particular piece is missing a scope, though. The T9-32 rifle scope. A common 30mm sniper scope attachable to almost any bolt-action 446 caliber. It uses an older style non-dotted range-finding reticle. Seaweed is still stuck on the lens, and it suffered water damage from its time in the Phasmid's dowry. Okay. And a buoy. Evidence. Clasia's passport. We found this way too late. She's long gone at this point. But sure, why not? Oranyenrik. This well-traveled passport with visa stamped on it is issued by the Republic of Orania. You found it in the Phasmid's nest on the island. You can open it for more details.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Orania, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alazie.
Classia's hidden documents. From the empty buoy.
What was this doing in the Phasmid's nest?
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
Or maybe the Phasmid did it. Huh, I think the Phasmid... Oh yes, that's right. The Phasmid took it, and I sensed it do so. I saw something open up the buoy with its spindly legs. Point to your head. Did I?
Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual.
But also possible.
By now, the lieutenant has accepted your unusual methods.
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod.
True. Dross probably did it, because he did say that he watched her put her stuff in the buoy.
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious.
Perhaps it was curious, like an octopus.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, I see your point.
Let's look at the photo.
It's Clasia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow.
Well, to be fair, hair does make a big difference in appearances and perception of a person.
An old photo, before life came and did what it does.
It says Katarzyna Alazie, but that's probably a fake name too.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
He opens his notes.
Katarzyna Alazie was supposed to be her real name, where Clasia comes from. Remember? God damn it.
Katarzyna Alazie was supposed to be her real name. She lied to us.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
The lieutenant smiles. What's her real name then?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we'll never know.
It's not Katarzyna Alazie, or Clasia, or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
He looks east.
The winds are silent. The streets are empty of her. She is no longer in the city of Revachol.
Put the passport away. Okay. Let's just check in on our quote-unquote prisoner, and we'll be good to go, I think.
Yes?
Locked. Oops. Alright, how are you feeling, bud?
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
The old man looks around, confused.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how could you not see the Phasmid?
See.
He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing. like an addict of some terrible substance.
Snap my fingers under his nose, just like I did with the pail driver.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The lieutenant inspects him gently.
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
He looks at him and then at you. I think it's the Phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the Phasmid, the combined stress.
He looks at
But
you.
you think it's something more than that, don't you?
I do.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
It's definitely toxic, the Phasmid. It told me it is.
Told you? Yes, good. During your long staring match. I understand.
Yeah, he just accepts it at this point. He looks at the man, then at you. He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dross,
He touches the man's shoulder.
No response.
Maybe this is how the Phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time?
Yep.
Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Yes, you forget it's there.
Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds?
The lieutenant inspects the man. The old man stutters.
The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated.
He was energetic and articulate.
He nods.
After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the Phasmid?
It does not seem to be animated now it's left.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive.
He looks to the sea.
I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them on, he's still staring at the sea. I think he's addicted to that thing.
Like a drug?
He has displayed addict behavior, and not just to painkillers.
His pupils appear to be dilated. They still are.
He examines the catatonic man's eyes.
It's not just chemical.
No, it's as if he's infatuated with it.
Some kind of oxytocin release mechanism? Would go with the pupils. But this is way above me, detective.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a doctor. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in its company?
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe.
He looks at his notebook.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
Right? He shakes his head in disbelief.
No one would believe you without it.
We found some things in the Phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Tap the helmet on my head.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is. The last embers have gone out. The war is over.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the Phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
Show him the Oranese passport.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appears very old all of a sudden. Around 80. This is an old man, at last. No longer a tin soldier, but the broken down remains of a man.
Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast?
The spirits.
He blinks and continues to stare at the reeds.
He hears us. The spirit?
I assume that's what he's calling the Phasmid.
No reply. He's gone again.
Try something else? We got him back for a moment.
Show him the detached scope.
I lost.
He turns his eyes to it. You lost it, Mr. Dross?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie Phasmid.
The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
I kind of feel bad for him at this point. I'm gonna let you rest now, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open.
I wonder if he'll recover from this.
The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
Okay.
The strength is all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
I feel like we might need to set up a new fire for him because he is going to freeze to death out here. It is almost midnight. Alright, well that was special. How exactly are we going back? Use the boat to return to the mainland. Well, that's my only quest. No fast way of traveling here. So up and over.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
RCM. It sounds like RCM. Revolutionary Citizens Militia.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May.
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
He looks towards the darkened doorway.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. A mediocre athlete would pant from dragging around his body on a busted crutch. But not you. You're thinking about politics, with blood dripping down your thigh.
The moral Lintern answer. So what I'm hearing... Yeah, it's a little embarrassing at 51, no? Maybe we need a rebrand?
No one remembers the ICM.
Oh.
The connotation is less important each year.
He bows to inspect the barrel. Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army. The black and white army of the revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
A white star. Point to the star on the label.
No, an upside-down star.
He looks at it. I don't even see the star. What are you talking about? I thought it was going to be here or something. Okay.
With its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune.
Are those speck stars too?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Looks old. What's it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter.
He thinks.
One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Finish the pot. Alright, time to get back to the boat. We're getting the hell out of here. Time to head
The
back.
skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland,
Let's. We are done here.
he says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Okay. Who's waiting for me here? Oh, it's probably the other members of my police force. Hello?
Look what the tide brought him.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly, his expression changes and he tilts his head.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
That I am.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen.
I'm kind of expecting the music to be really good here as well. There's always nice music in the critical moments in the game.
This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Wait, you're the man with sunglasses.
That's right. And you're bleeding.
No one else seems to be bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it. Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Forget about all this. There's a giant...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
He points at you with both hands. Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
We did. You're that guy who's a little rich and brought his son over. At the Feld building.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it.
He says, gesturing towards his companions.
Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein, Battle Officer Judith Minot.
I figured we were part of the same team, yes. Given all the context clues we got while interrogating him in the whirling.
Hi.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
He points to the seaport.
We might need your help with something later.
He adds, suddenly regaining his confidence.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
No, Kim, you've got to have my back. Let's destroy them. Way to feed me to the wolves. Thank you, Lieutenant. Yeah.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
She says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles. She's the nicest person in this entire team.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Okay. Alright, what am I about to face? What is this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science.
He takes a step back. Is he a psychologist? Did they call him in because I've been a bit nutty?
My background is in something else entirely.
Oh yeah.
I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
He turns to you.
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
What's a shit kid?
You. Shit kid? That's you.
That's rude.
Maybe you've deserved it.
Also possible. I am absolutely never calling her the horse-faced woman. You aren't the man with sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, it was a wig.
I heard
Come
you
on.
lost your mind and your memory.
Yep.
I wanted to see if it was true.
He exchanges a look with the special consultant.
And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Actually, I suspected something was off.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
That's also true. He adjusts his tie.
Judging by the familiarity you feel toward him, 2 years minimum? Or maybe a short but close stint on the task force.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
I saved his establishment and he still betrays me?
Strange. He didn't mention that. In fact, the establishment didn't look saved at all. There was a giant aerograffito in front of the building, mixed with blood.
My blood. It was this one junior delinquent.
I don't know. It had shit kid written all over it.
He squints at you suspiciously. So, Trent Heidelstein turns out to be Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein.
Yes, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I never said I wasn't Trent Heidelstein.
True. Wait, so what was the kid up to then?
Mikhail? Mikhail is my son.
His son? What a joke. Everyone is lying to you.
So what was up with the interesting history? Spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence.
No, okay.
It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also interested in the Feld building.
But he's worried about me. Like, it's not malicious. So what are you special consulting here? Your sanity?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He looks at the dilapidated shacks and then at you.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
True. Duped again! No one's who they say they are.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Okay, I'm not gonna blame the lieutenant. Kitsuragi. Okay, that does have something to do with it, yes.
No. Everyone's just a brilliant master of disguises.
So, where have you been all this time?
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember.
He crosses his arms.
You told us to fuck off.
Oh.
You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
I said all those things? I'm not like that anymore.
Yes. You're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. I've heard this repentance shit a million times over.
Can I say the other stuff?
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything.
So why would you leave a literal police
or
god?
Die. You were crying hysterically.
Oh.
You were drunk, breaking things, being emotionally abusive. You said we were going into the abyss. None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off.
He sighs.
Like you told us to.
Ah, so I told them to go away. You mentioned a task force?
Yeah. Major Crimes Unit. Under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory. Who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Dron fucking Idlestown, and Guillaume Baby.
He stares at you. What about, Lieutenant, Judith?
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Yeah, first, who's Guillaume Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit.
He's not smiling.
Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses?
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde with sunglasses like you were?
See? There. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G. Bevy. It was going to be funny, but then you really did have brain damage. So not so much anymore.
He wags his finger at you.
He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing. For both of you.
Ah, okay. So I'm lightening up on him a little bit now. He's not just being an ass for the sake of being an ass. Me and my previous persona was an ass to all of them. And then I went and lost my memory. But it's okay. I'm better now. I'm a better person all around. Now that I've taken control of his character, at least. Okay, so what does the unit do?
It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
Because I was the only one solving all the cases?
They're your posse. Or
Okay.
what remains of it. Hand-picked. Hand-lost.
The 41st isn't...
He trails off, not wishing to finish the sentence. Isn't what, shit tier? None of this is ringing any bells. I'm absolutely not calling her the horse-faced woman. That's terrible.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Detective God. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
He turns to the blonde.
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia. episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, e-solar, pound, and so on.
True. I did lose the concept of money at the beginning, yes. I forgot about that.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch,
He makes
but
air quotes.
also mine with him before, when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
He turns to you. Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory. I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
Okay.
No, not like that. I'm not talking for thought school here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
Capitalism. It could have something to do with the anomaly in the church, a 2mm hole in the world.
Corresponding to the 20-centimeter hole in your brain.
Thanks.
Sure. This theory has great symmetry. I see how it folds into itself neatly.
Precisely, Satellite Officer Vicmere. It's Martinez.
Take this seriously. I suspect there might be something wrong with Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audiospatial anomaly. It may have been anthroponetic or perhaps related to radio waves. Either way, it was real. I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to the point of brain damage.
Thank you for having my back, Kim.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think his other anthroponetics are a hoax. Pale produces global phenomena. It's proven. However, what has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Commodore Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to us.
But Detective Vicmare, he has blanked out before.
She interjects. I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
She pauses, remembering.
The two cases in your
Yep.
ledger,
I've read them both.
the unsolvable case and the Next World mural, those were recent. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
He gestures towards the scenery.
Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input.
Are you saying it's been a sensory overload?
Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
He nods confidently.
Okay, Trump, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
I'm ready to lead again.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
He looks at you and then at Trant.
They can keep that pension. You're rock solid. You can put your clothes on hard.
So what now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
He points to the water. That's a good question. That's a good question. Hold on, in the ocean?
Yes, in the ocean, under the sea. Our work vehicle, with fishing clams and other sea shit.
I drove it into the ocean while I was drunk. I'll be honest, it did happen.
Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip.
Ouch, sorry.
It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
He exhales to calm his breathing. Wait, my badge?
The thing that tells people you're a police officer.
What I do have is this futuristic armor. I've got my badge right here. Show it to them.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge,
Oh no!
your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
No, I've got to be cool. I can't lose it now. Hand-eye coordination. Don't fail me now. Nice catch.
Not today, badge.
Did I get the badge? Behold, my badge!
And your gun?
He asks, unimpressed by the piece of plastic in your hand.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
I can just play around with him. Gun. Just repeat gun. I upgraded my gun to a rifle. Alright, he's looking for specifically the... I upgraded to a rifle.
Upgraded it. I don't care about your weapon mania, Harry. I only care about your official sidearm, which you lost.
Okay, I got that too.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone.
He wipes his brow in mock relief. I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
He looks at you. Wait, it may be because of the pheromone.
Detective, please. Don't start talking about your pheromone again. This is serious. If you don't...
She doesn't finish the sentence.
Then you'll be fired. This is a hearing. Toughen up.
Yeah, I've handled an actual corpse.
I don't believe you. You're drunk. You let a suspect escape, a certain Classier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
He squints.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Plazia, she was some kind of spy from the Occident, specially trained.
Oh, well, if she was specially trained. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect who also escaped. Yeah, Ruby's something.
He rubs his face in frustration.
Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the
Ouch.
6 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
I think we did the best we could in that situation, truth be told.
He did everything he could.
Yep.
We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
The lieutenant interrupts him.
Here comes the cavalry.
Thank you.
He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
True, he says in a lowered voice.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
What is your take on all this? Yeah, it's been 8 days now. Well, now that we've crossed over the midnight.
On the case?
On Lieutenant Yefretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
He pulls up his collar.
See?
1 week.
But this is why I wanted to stay sober. I've avoided alcohol and avoided drugs all week long. And finally, it's being referenced. Thank you.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer.
Oh, that's my sorry cop kicking in.
It's just strange, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a true blue moralist. He recently attempted to contact a coalition warship in order to assign la responsabilité, which is commendable, but also at odds with his own behavior. Other still, he is also a Mazovian socio-economist
I
who
haven't
believes in liquidating the
internalized
ruling
that thought,
class.
though.
How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know, but he is vocal on both of them.
I haven't internalized that, though,
And
but
then
okay.
there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact.
He breathes in sharply. Thank you, Kim! Thank you so much!
He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Yeah, it didn't really work out very well, but honestly, it still sounded good, even though I failed the role. It sounded passionate, it was emotional, even if he was bad at singing, he tried his best with no regrets.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Oh, that's right, they were all sitting there listening too. Oh, right, forgot about that.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years.
He pauses.
Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
This is also going to be a big one for everyone.
A new species?
Yes.
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian Phasmid.
We absolutely were.
He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Rain comes down. He covers the glossy photo of the Phasmid with his hand.
I don't know if bringing it out into the rain was the best choice. We could have had this conversation inside the shack or something, but okay.
You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
I'm gonna say nothing.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
The man cranes his neck, still looking at the photo. Actually, it may be, given the pheromones.
Detective?
He turns to you. Yeah. Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may have been responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the Phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
Indeed.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
He points to the photo.
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His tired eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness.
Yeah. Now we can find new things to believe in. Things that we never thought possible are now possible. Right? Because no one believed in the Insulindian Phasmid. It's just like in the real world, if we suddenly discover the existence of any mythical creature or the proof of something that no one believed in, right? Now suddenly everything is possible.
Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
Also the Phasmid was female. Okay, but is that relevant? The previous head of the Débardeurs Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open.
Oh,
In
true.
Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
The lieutenant lowers his voice just a little.
And eyes, too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed.
True.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
Very true.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
The consultant, too, has lowered his voice.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
True. Okay, good. I can say all of these. I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to. I also fixed a strike situation.
How? It seems to be ongoing. I see red banners on the gates.
He didn't quite solve it. He cross-pollinated information between the company rep and Everard, until the rep came to see that the Union desires war, at which point Mrs. Messier decided to...
He shrugs.
What? Hand clear the terminal.
I masterminded a solution to an unsolvable problem. That's how you make it sound nice on the resume.
Sounds like you got played, Harry. Because you were off your tits on Al Ghul.
Hey, how do you know about Al Ghul?
It doesn't matter how we know about Al Ghul. What matters is, you're Everard Clare's peony now. Just as I said. He's a mob boss, did you know? Is that why you want us to investigate the assassination of the previous Union head thing? To get off Everard's hook?
No.
No, it's nothing like that. He was reckless with information, but ethical. We don't owe anyone anything. This allowed us to stabilize things in Martinez.
Yeah, I didn't even take the bribes.
God, calm down, Jean.
Silence. Good. The man doesn't know what to say.
I don't know if I should mention the nightclub thing, but I may as well do everything. There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How did you know I found him? Well, case files.
The body was transported
Yeah,
to
our
Precinct
morgue.
41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Makes sense.
Still, good work with the missing person, detective.
Thank you, she says this quietly. I confiscated drugs from Kuno's dad. I did not use them. I know you're gonna blame me for that immediately.
Who's Kuno?
Fair enough, actually. That's a good question.
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink.
Uh-huh. He turns to you. I also looked into the mystery of the Doom commercial area.
I don't know what a Doom commercial area is.
He shrugs. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10, a commercial building where all businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it.
Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here.
True.
There was a fridge we needed and a possible witness. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
She turns to Vikmar.
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment, it seemed like you were just wasting time.
Yeah, maybe let's not talk about the nightclub. I don't know. I want to do it. I do want to do it. Also, the Phasmid was female. The reeds are its nest.
Female? What makes you think so?
I had a psychic conversation with it.
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
I don't think so.
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
He turns to you. I think it reproduces by parthenogenesis. It had gathered items in its nest, a helmet, a scope, and a passport.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
I still think it was female.
Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can move a whole helmet with its limbs.
He pauses, turning something over in his head. I think it reproduces by parthenogenesis.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
It told me.
Then it wouldn't matter if it's male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from before the parthenogenetic mutation.
He ignores your answer. Yeah, it did say that it clones itself.
That makes sense. Yes.
Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
True. He looks around, quickly assessing the coast. I think it emits a chemical that makes it look even more like the reeds.
Yes. That would be a pheromone. A pheromone that's seemingly beneficial to the host. It usually stimulates the affected nervous system. Not a human's, of course, but perhaps a predator's?
The perpetrator seemed intoxicated somehow, like an addict. It's just a hunch, but...
There are species of bees that, under the influence of pheromones, take wasp larvae to their hives. Ants do the same with aphids, thinking they're...
He stops.
Do you think this is how it stayed hidden?
Yes, I do.
Nothing is off the table. But I want to stress this. The find does not have to be connected to the case.
True.
The case is 100% prosecutable, without any pheromones.
Of course, Lieutenant. Of course. We should treat the case and the Phasmid as completely separate from each other. People are not going to...
He shakes his head.
They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulary.
Conclude. It had mandibles that looked like hair, and it was completely white on the inside.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian Phasmid. No, that's too much.
He repeats, turning to Vicmar.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest.
He smiles.
You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo.
Right?
Without it,
He shakes his head.
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still.
Alright, time to get them upset with me. I started a nightclub in the church.
what was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church.
He cups his ear, the wind blows. I did some kids a solid, turned their lives around.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
I need this guy, I need Kim to be my resume writer. I just tell him things and he just makes it sound so good.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
The killer, Lilianovic Dros, we have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead.
Okay, fair enough.
This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
So I'm not lying. There you go.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Yes.
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something?
Close, yeah, maybe around close to 80.
A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the Phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
That it is.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way more.
What? It will win me Dora back. Let's not go for that. It's more than that. A perfect folding mechanism, like the Phasmid. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Perfect folding mechanism. Get over yourself, Harry. I
He
can
rolls his
still smell
eyes.
the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass in time.
So, what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back? Point to myself.
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
He shrugs.
So I have to. Jude,
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
A quick nod.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Hopefully so.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
He sighs.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. Remember?
A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about the Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
She looks at Vikmar.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
We need to tell her.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
That would be nice. All I've done is deliver death.
She is going to be over the moon.
Yeah.
Watch out, or she'll faint.
So, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No,
No, because a suspect seemed to think.
you're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
Fair.
He would immediately backpedal out of it.
He's the backpeddler. I've already figured that out about him, yes. Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
Was she called Dora Dubois?
Dubois? It was Dora Engelund, I think. You've said her name, but you weren't married.
Oh.
You were engaged.
He shakes his head. So we weren't even married.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
He thinks. 6 years?
Yeah, or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Engelund really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Huh?
She was extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
You know about Welkin. You're a nerd! Secretly. Also, I feel like that's extremely rude to talk about. Also saying that in front of... not to say it's okay to say it outside of the presence of... Anyway, whatever.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Yeah, I've mentally raised her on a pedestal until she's literally replacing a deity in my mind. So, my subconscious mind, at least.
Look, the sun is going down. It's time to go home.
She turns to face the sea.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east.
The sun is going
Hard
down.
to
It's
say
1
which
a.m.
came
Judith.
first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
He pauses to think. I don't want to potentially run out of time because she's given me a warning. The sun is going down. I'm like, it's 1 a.m., Judith. The sun is not up. Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
You're right. He takes a look around into the deepening shadows of the streets and then pulls up his collar.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. It says, tensions rise in Terminal YC in light of the débardeurs strike in Terminal B. Among representatives of every industry in Coal City. You read.
Is this like a sequel hook for the game that is in jeopardy right now, unfortunately? Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I meant investigate. Come work in Precinct 41. Come with me. Yeah, join us.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
A crooked smile quivers on his lips.
Would fit in. And crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Yeah, join us. Come with me. Be my permanent Parker. Replace the other guy who's been a dick to me. It's not entirely his fault based on previous stuff, but, you know, I have a connection with you in this game, not him.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
That's right. He also has a nice reputation that comes with him, too.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
The lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
She says with a smile.
I do like the sound of that.
Nice. He returns her smile.
He's really considering it.
Good. So, Precinct 41, what kind of station is it?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
He tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torsen and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torsen and McLean.
Mac the Torso Torsen and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
She arches an eyebrow. Yeah, I remember talking to them on the radio. They did not seem the brightest.
They are damn iconic though, Torsen and McLean.
An iconic duo, I take it?
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
And the Sea Wing is...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
So you say. I feel like we've definitely been working together for a long time. At least the 6 years that he was talking about, right? Or maybe 5-ish, because he said he joined us after she had left me already. But we've been working together for some time. We're both depressed old men. I understand.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me.
He smiles.
Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
And Price is...
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
I don't actually remember that.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
I don't remember who these enemies are.
Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
Understood. So I work in the bloody murder station.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
I believe it.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershaw. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
Yeah, we have the worst assignment.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Yeah, we're legendary. He says this in a reassuring tone, and soon you'll be part of it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but
But before.
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
She looks around. That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
Bicep girth. I like it. The collection of fallen sportswear I've amassed.
Your moves on the church floor, which honestly was just jump aerobics. Your use of the word graffito.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy.
What, physical instrument? I guess that makes sense.
God, even this javelin throwing freak here.
Is he throwing a javelin? Oh god, Contact Mike!
Of course. Contact Mike.
I really appreciate how all the choices and the things I've done over the game is still just getting referenced all around. Like, I did the Contact Mike thing completely on a whim, and here we are. It's getting brought up in the end.
he's been on about Mike again.
Cut!
I hate that guy.
The detective shakes his head. Why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries, and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
So when was this? When was I a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
He looks you over. You said in Kuron, I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Cool. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
Of course.
The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards. Kuro is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field or the sports building.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Acel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
That makes sense. I'm good with kids.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
Don't laugh at me. It's a good thing. Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition. A 5,000 to 1 rank outsider.
Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
He arches an eyebrow.
It is getting cold out.
She looks around at the dilapidated fishing village. Okay, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
I'm ready. This is it, I think.
Good.
She looks at you, then Vikmar.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
The man points down the street.
Under the night sky, the great district sleeps. A dark chessboard of wooden houses in the rain. 80,000 living souls inside. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, atop the motorway, to Boogie Street, glowing on the rain-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time.
Square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. Is this the square bullet hole murders again coming back? That's interesting.
Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No.
For what?
Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomny Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the RCM. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minot? Of course.
Okay, so this would be more sequel hook stuff.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
The woman looks north. Still limping. Good friends. Yeah, come with. Thank you. So, who's driving? Well then, I guess that's that. This game has been an experience. It really has. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I got into it, but I was so impressed by the way the world reacted around you based on your choices, what you could do, what you could say. Some more off-the-wall things that they had presented to you. The general mystery of the story itself. The characters were interesting. Kim, he's like the best guy to have on your side, basically. He's the guy who's always got your back no matter what, even if you don't really necessarily deserve it, right? So, as I said before, I do know that they were planning to make a sequel, but then they ran into the company and the creators of the game, I think, ran into some creative differences, let's say. And as a result, the future of this is kind of up in the air, which is really unfortunate. I do hope one day for there to be some sort of reconciliation between them or something so that we can get a sequel. But until then, this has been, again, like just one of the best written, most interesting games I've played in a very long time. In terms of like story elements and the way that it actually like captured my interest, yeah. So, for what it's worth then, I hope that you enjoyed what you saw here today and that you're doing well wherever you are. This has been Karst with Disco Elysium. And I hope that you'll enjoy any of my future stuff. So, have a great day. Thank you for watching. And I'll hope to see you in my future content. Bye-bye.